Alright, so this is the third video in the 5-part series breaking down the most popular QiGong myths. And in this one we're going to look at the obsession and the misunderstanding of form and magical exercises. This is a big one and people get really sucked into it and they want to collect and do a bunch of exercises and they miss the point completely because they think it's just somehow magically the movement is going to create the result. That somehow I'm going to move my hand like this, and it's going to, oh, I'm grabbing yin chi from the earth. Now I'm grabbing yang chi from heaven. Now I'm pushing it into my body. Now I'm grabbing yin chi. It's like, what? It's like, what is our definition of superstition? What is our definition of fantasy and make-believe? That seems to fit the bill. Because if movements are magical, then why isn't like picking your ear or picking your nose magical? It's also a movement. You could say, oh, well, this is a mudra. This is a sword finger. So I'm gonna, like, why is that not? But somehow this is, or whatever else. So just under 1.5 seconds of critical thought, the whole thing completely collapses. Which is then why people need the other myths that came before. It's like, oh, well, let's working on this meridian, or oh, you gotta visualize and you gotta pull the chi down from the heavens. Not true whatsoever. If you want to understand form, you want to understand exercises, it's basically like this. If you buy an expensive bottle of champagne or wine, what makes it expensive? What makes it valuable? Is it the glass that it's in, or is it what's inside of it that makes it valuable? Pretty much everyone can agree it's what's inside of it. So any posture, any form, any movement is just the same. It can be completely worthless, it could be harmful, it could be profoundly transformative and beneficial for your body. But it really depends on what you put in. And basically, the more detail you put in, the more time, the more energy, the more dedication, the more focus, the more discipline, the more of all of those things you put in together in the correct way, through the correct sequence, with the correct mechanics and the teachings and the principles, and everything put in together over time, that's going to yield something different than if you just say, oh, this movement's magical, and I'm going to visualize and smile and just relax, and that's going to somehow do something for my lungs or something like that. When in reality, you might just be better off going for a jog, going for a walk, taking a bubble bath, getting a massage. Might be a better usage of your time rather than getting caught up in kind of make-believe and magical fantasy worlds. Because QiGong functions under specific and clear mechanics through a specific linear process, which ends in certain things coming about. And it really has little to do with the form, and it's not like this is a particular magical exercise. Because again, it's the content, it's what is put into it that makes it actually have an effect. So it's like having a car with no engine. It's not really going to do anything. It's like having a car with no interior, no electricals. You just have not even steel anymore, like magnesium and aluminum and carbon fiber and whatever cars are made of now. That's what you have. But then there's nothing inside of it. So it's pretty worthless. But what actually brings it together is having all of those systems in place work together, okay? But then you actually have to know how to be a good driver, know how to use it and understand all these intricacies. Then you can yield better results on the extreme. So hopefully that makes sense. And basically just collecting forms and thinking powers and the forms, or this form is great because it's from this 2,000-year lineage and it's from this great grand master. It's just usually people say that because they don't have understanding of these terms. So hopefully this video has been helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.